Okay, we're heading to a very special object, and it's an old landfill or garbage heap, and well, it's close to a natural area called Lonnekermeer. Lonnekermeer is a old country estate. We may see a little bit of that as well. But it's really busy with wanderers at the moment, with people walking, and you know, I don't want to have those on camera, but we can go to a little obscure place where there is a railroad crossing, one that is without any signaling system. The one you saw just on the video is one with a signaling system, but the one at the hill is not. That one is completely unguarded, and it's a rather obscure, quiet place, and you can also get on that hill, and from there you have actually quite a nice view. Sadly, the cornfield, as you can see, has not been removed yet, but just behind the cornfield is a railway. And I bet you already saw that just at the start of the video. But when we get closer to the hill, I'll show you a bit of the railroad in more detail. Just on my left is the A1 motorway. That one also passes the Oosterveld Estate. In fact, the Oosterveld Estate is quite close to this area. It's just a little bit more to the north. Behind the hill is a road from Deurningen to Enschede, and just behind that road is the Oosterveld Estate. But you cannot easily access it from here. You actually have to make quite a detour to get there, because you have to cross the motorway, or you have to go to the other way around, and well, that's a really long hike. But the Lonnekermeer estate is just another country estate that was made by an industrialist, and that industrialist was Stork, and he basically built an artificial lake. And because the name Lonnekermeer means Lonneker Lake, a meer is a lake, and all that sand that he excavated out of that lake was used to raise the railway in Hengelo. If you look in Hengelo itself, you see that the railway is actually built on top of a dike. It's basically raised because in the early 1900s there was a lot of traffic jam in the town, and with all the level crossings, and well, that caused a lot of congestion with traffic. Oh, there's a train going by, and so they said, well, we'll raise a railway. We put it on the dike, and we built tunnels so that the traffic doesn't have to wait for the trains. And well, this is how this lake was established, because they needed all that sand. They had to excavate it somewhere, and they found this location, and as a result Stork also decided to build another country home there, where he could well, enjoy a bit of nature. So we're closing into the hill. I don't know if you can hear my voice properly, because there's so much motorway noise on the background. Here is another look on the railway. Don't know if you can see it properly, but you can see a bit of the overhead wiring there. Well, this hill is basically a landfill. In the 1960s this thing didn't exist, or they actually built it at that point. The former municipality of Hengelo, it doesn't exist anymore, but it's a town in this area, and they were their own municipality, but they have merged into a larger municipality. Well, they needed a landfill site, and they chose this location. And they basically put up this hill, and it's all made of garbage, basically. And it's not in use anymore. It's well, it's pretty much abandoned. So now if we turn around the corner, we reach the unguarded railroad crossing. It's the kind of railroad crossing that I mentioned in my Oosterveld video. There it is. As you can see by the Andreas cross, it's got 2 tracks. And no signals, no lights, no alarm, no nothing. Just 2 signs. Oh, there's someone with a scooter coming, who probably wants to check it out as well. Which is, I think, a bit annoying. Oh, it looks like he's going away. But anyway, this is the crossing. There are 2 tracks. There's overhead wiring. And well, if you cross the crossing, you get into the Lonnekermeer area. And this is the type of railroad crossing that ProRail wants to get rid of, because you have to look very carefully to see if there are no trains, because there are no signals. You can just walk on the tracks. Well, and here's a basically a canal. It's a few kilometers long, and when we look in that direction, you see that road there. Well, just about behind there is the Oosterveld Estate. You could actually walk along this path and then cross the road and get there. It's just a few hundred meters really. So let's see if we can get on top of the hill, on top of the old garbage heap. You see, it used to be fenced up, but the fence has been breached for many years. And I used to actually get on this hill with my bicycle. I mean, who didn't? Many people did that. And it's actually quite steep. And well, at the time it was already quite densely vegetated. And you can see a bit of a forest there and the crossing. So let's get up. Oh, it's still the way I remember it. I haven't been here in, well, quite a few years actually. I don't even remember what the last time was. It must have been over 5 years ago. Yeah, I guess about 5 years ago, maybe even more. And well, in the mid-90s, that's about 20 years ago, I used to come here a lot with my neighbor. Well, we used to go to this place, and as you can see, there's lots of debris. They basically use this landfill to dump construction materials. So I don't think the fruit that you can pick here is poisonous. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's bricks everywhere. Well, it's still the exact way I remember it. At one point, someone actually wanted to build a restaurant on top of this place. Yes, I know it's bonkers, but someone actually wanted that. Well, carefully put that aside. And here you can already enjoy a bit of the view. Well, in that forest used to be a tower, something similar to a flag tower that I mentioned in an earlier video, but I don't think that was a flag tower in this place. This was just a forest fire kind of inspection tower. Ooh, it has densed up quite a bit. I can't remember it being this dense. There's much more vegetation on this now than it used to be. This used to be all grass. Whoa, this has changed a lot. All the grass is gone. Whoa, this has changed a lot. I mean, this had become completely impenetrable. In the past, this was a field of grass, and you could just, well, cover the entire place. But now it looks like it has become completely dense. No, not a chance. It used to be possible, but not anymore. Oh, ouch, I'm getting kind of stuck too. Ouch. As you can see, a lot has changed in just a few years' time. Ow. And these are very nasty prickers. These are, well, I don't know, roses with thorns. These plants all have nasty thorns, and they kind of hurt. Let's get out of here. It's not as good as I remembered it. It used to be a lot nicer when the vegetation wasn't here. But so let's get down. Maybe we should have a little look in that forest, although there will probably be people wandering with and walking their dog with their family and stuff. And well, I generally think that's really boring. I don't want that on the video. You know, it's always better if you can walk around somewhere quietly without so many people around. I really hate that. But we'll see. I wasn't really intending to do a long walk anyway. So, just wanted to check this out. But yeah, there's actually a lot of construction debris on this place. Here you have a really good view of the tracks. I don't know if the camera can show it, maybe it's a bit too low. But yes, that's the tracks that go from Berlin to Amsterdam, just like the motorway. And it's got overhead wiring. Oh, I constantly hear some helicopter flying around. Well, this is an example of the portals, the support portals for the overhead wiring. They're made of precast concrete, and these are really old style ones from the 1950s. The newer ones are all metal frames basically, because they're cheaper and they have a kind of truss design on the top. But this is an old concrete type, and well, the concrete pole itself is rather slender. It actually has some kind of truss. Well, you can't really see it from here, but if you stand in front of it, you can see that really well. So let's see if we can get that into frame. Yes, where I'm walking towards now, you can see the little weight that supports the cables, and you can see that the overhead wiring frame actually has a truss, and it's completely made out of concrete, and it's well, even better visible here. The concrete dimensions are very slender, So it was a very high quality concrete for its time. Maybe we can approach this a little bit closer. Yeah, we're not really supposed to do this, but anyway, here you can see it, it's concrete. So now let's have a look at the forest. Yeah, no train, so we're clear. And you see these signposts are rather simple. They used to be different. About 20 years ago they replaced them. The older ones were made of a basically just a bit of track. At least the pole was made of a track. They did just look different. I have some old photos of them on how they looked and how this place was. And as an original Andreas cross stood about there actually. Okay, here are some old photos that I managed to dig out of my archive. I scanned them in and well, this is what it looked like and what I described. And that's an old photo with me when I was 13 years old, when the crossing was already modernized. Let's go into the forest. 20 years ago this area was in fact completely off limits. But now the province of Overijssel has purchased it in 2001 or 2002, and since then they opened it up for the public. So another view of the railroad crossing, and I hope that they keep this one, because if they close it, many people would have to make a giant detour, and that would just suck. And that's the problem. These unguarded railroad crossings are kind of dangerous, but not many accidents happen because they're on really deserted places like this, or just small rural roads where nobody is ever coming except maybe a farmer. So they're kind of rarely used. But on those few that were close to the Oosterveld Estate, were used more frequently, mainly by the residents. It's mostly the farmers living there use them quite often. And well, ProRail wants to get rid of all those unsafe crossings, so that well, to reduce accidents. And this is why they created a road there. And this is what I don't like about walking on a Sunday, because there's so many people here right now. And I just don't like that at all. Oh hey, there's a train. I mean, you can't even walk in privacy here. There's something neat that I want to show you, but I just don't feel like filming with so many people watching me film. I kind of want to film in private. Well, I guess we have to go this way then. Again, you absolutely can't avoid the people. So if I stop babbling for a while, it's because I pass some of those people. Because it looks funny when someone's talking and filming at the same time. But once we got past them, I'll start talking again. And of course I will edit these bits out. You know, that's a problem here in the Netherlands, when there's a bit of nature and it's a nice Sunday, then people all visit these places, and they all tend to do that. And yeah, you just can't really get here quietly. The only way you can do that is in a midweek, but yeah, then I can't do that. You can only do this in the weekends. So quick. Oh, I hate that I'm being followed. So we're gonna walk a bit quicker again. So, well, there used to be some kind of tower in this area, but I have kind of forgotten the location. I think it was on the left, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh boy. So, as far as I know, there are no ruins in this area, at least no Fliegerhorst ruins. I've looked for those sort of things here, but from what I know, this particular estate was not used by the Germans, although that tower that used to be here was kind of suspicious. And that tower used to be somewhere around here, but I think it was just an older fire extinguishing tower. You know, in forests they sometimes build an inspection tower that people can go in and to alert or to spot forest fires. And I think it was used for that purpose. At least that's how it was designated on the map. Well, there's a farmhouse. Well, it used to be somewhere here, but it's completely gone. I bet the foundations are gone too. Still, I've always thought this was kind of a mysterious forest, because it was off limits for so many years. Actually, maybe it was about here. There is some kind of ditch. Well, and this part is off limits because that's a farmhouse where the warden of this area lives. But I've heard rumors that trespassers back in the day when this was still off limits were sometimes being chased by someone with a BB gun or with a hunting gun. I don't know if those rumors are true, but I've just heard stories about it. Anyway, this is also rather strange looking. But I think this forest was actually well planted. I don't think it is natural. Many areas here were cultivated. Well, that's another bit of footage, I have to edit out. Darn it. Yeah, you really shouldn't film on a Sunday. Too busy with people. Another view of the railroad. Now let's get back. Maybe we can spot a train. Also, a really nice detail about those overhead wiring posts is that you see counterweights. You see that wheel, it kind of has teeth on it, and that's and right there is a counterweight, and that's used to put tension on the wires. But these frames themselves are basically moment connections. The post is kind of clamped into the ground, into the foundation. The foundation just has a really big, thick concrete slab, and that round part is sort of protruding from that, and then the post is basically casted into it. It's just one monolithic piece essentially. Let's see how they casted that. But here you can really see that it is really just some sort of truss made out of concrete. And I think they casted that foundation part on the spot, but I'm not too sure about it. Anyway, I also have photos made in 2006 or 2007 when they were renovating the tracks. They were putting new sleepers in and kind of changing up the gravel. Oh, there's a runner. Let's find a stealthy place. Well, a final view over the railroad crossing with a runner going into the forest. Well, that's about all she wrote for this video, I guess, because I haven't really got more to show you here. Oh, there's all sorts of acorns falling from the tree. It's always nasty when those things land on your head. Another way up. But this is really steep. I don't think we can do that. Especially if you want to go down. And this is gonna be ultra steep. No. I'm not gonna do that. It's too steep. Well, that was it. I thank you for watching